Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV, Upper Mississippi River Valley, and we were trying to move the clock forward here so that we could start in on our harvest, and I realized we needed a bit more grass to feed our cows here, our hay I should say. And these two fields over here are ready in July. I almost completely forgot about them. And we're going to be getting everything started here. Now, I am going to use some course play to kind of speed this up a bit. So I'm going to jump into this piece of equipment. We're going to copy that course over, and I'm going to use that in the baler as well. There we go. Should be good to go. It is going to wait to make sure it's not getting in the way of the other worker, which I like, even though they're on side-by-side courses. It's been kind of a cool enhancement here with course play that does that. Kind of keeps the vehicles away from each other. And the big interesting thing that has happened as we move forward from July 1 to July 2 is that I came to the realization that we're getting milk out of this second pen. These cows aren't ready to start producing milk as far as I know, and it turns out that it's 18 months until they can reproduce. But at 12 months, it looks like they've started making milk. You can see I've got almost 1,900 liters of milk here compared to the 21 that I've got in the main pen. And I think that was because we have them at such a low health percentage. Apparently, even though feeding them hay gives them 70%, I thought this would be 70% of their health. It's not until I've started feeding them the total mixed ration that their health has started coming up hour by hour here. So we went ahead and put a couple of batches of TMR in here. Their health is coming up, and it looks like the milk production is coming up, which leaves us with just this barn here that is not producing milk yet. We got a lot of money as the day ticked over here, covering all of our loans and such. I was really excited about it, and we're going to have to really buckle down on feed. I think we're going to have to figure out how to get another field or something going here, because we do not have enough feed to keep up with these cows. In fact, I emptied all of both the hay and the silage out of the silo here. We have in fact had to start pulling into our silage bags here. I've already emptied half of this silage bag, and I've got one more silage bag back there that's not going to last that long. Let me turn this off. We ran out of hay bales to continue making feed. I'm not super worried about it yet because I have a fair amount of feed here in the pen. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of my hay trapped up as feed now that I would have really preferred to be able to mix with our TMR. I might see if I can figure out how to pull that back out, even if it requires me to do some game editing here. But we have 157,000 liters of TMR in this pen, and I've got 350 in this pen, so we're going to have enough for a few days. But I'm almost out of hay over here. So what I was thinking is maybe just moving this hay into this pen in between episodes here at some point. I'm not really sure. We'll figure it out. You can see the health has started dropping on these cows, though, as that TMR we had in this barn has worn off and they've started eating just hay now. Now, we are harvesting in a couple of fields right now. We've got this grass field and then the one down the road, which is a little bit bigger, but there's really not that much grass going to come off of these. They're pretty small fields, unfortunately, and that means we've really got to scramble to figure out how we're going to get enough feed for all of these cows through the winter. I'm not worried about the silage. I've got two large cornfields that we're going to be able to chop here shortly, but the hay is the big hang up for me. I really don't know what we're going to do to get more hay. So I'm going to start shopping around on the map for another field that we could buy. And hopefully, if we can get that harvested sooner than later, I can go ahead and put grass in it now. And then we will have another field that we can cut one more time here before winter. I think it's about 3 months for hay to grow and be in a choppable stage. Oh no, it looks like these two kind of crashed into each other a little bit here. I'm actually kind of surprised that happened. Let's see if I can Start this guy back off. There we go. So I'm gonna leave the bale trailer here. We're not quite ready for harvesting corn yet in July here. The cornfields is 7 and 23, I believe. Let's take a quick look. They're not quite at that growth stage yet, so we do need to get, I think, into either August or September for those to be ready. And just taking a quick look at our finances here, we don't actually have that much money. So buying a large piece of property is going to be pretty difficult. We've only got $370,000 on this loan that we could take out to do that. I don't think leasing the land is actually going to be worth it financially either. The field leasing is super expensive. So I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. Maybe when we are able to start harvesting these other fields, we could switch one of them to grass. I probably should have switched it to grass sooner. Unfortunately, our corn and soybeans aren't going to be ready to harvest till October. I guess corn is going to come off a little bit earlier than that. I'm really hoping it comes off in August and we can start silaging that. If I can get corn in August, that'll give me enough time to get it to a harvestable point before the end of the year. We could plant both of those big cornfields as grass and get a ton of hay to kind of get caught up and ahead of the game again. I think that's our current hope right now. I'm in a little bit of a panic. I wasn't expecting to have to start feeding those cows TMR for another 6 months here. Well, with this field done being mowed, we might as well move the mower over to our other field here and get started on that. This isn't quite a driveway, but it is pretty shallow. I can sneak out onto the road here, it looks like. I think that our only course of action right now is to hope that when I move into August, we can silage. That's where we're at. This field is going to be a pretty quick cut as well. We're going to just continue to do the course play thing on both of these fields, I think, just because it's a little bit easier if we can have the baler follow around on the same path. So we'll jump up here and create a new job. Start out on this first waypoint. And I might as well get the sprayer out. We're going to have to put some more nitrogen back down on that grass area. It doesn't take a lot, although we are starting to run pretty low. We did all those spraying contracts. I wonder if I've still got one more tank of spray in the shed here, or a little bit in the trailer. We're gonna check real quick. Oh, driving over our animal canes here. I drove over one earlier. I wonder if I made that fall through the earth when I did that. Let's go in here. This is herbicide, and the trailer has nothing in it. Okay, well, we've only got what we've got. I don't know if it's going to be enough or not. Let's just try it out and see how much we can do with the tank that we've got, and if I need to go buy some more, we can always do that. I'm hoping that baler's about done in this field. It looks like he's got just a couple passes left. I'm gonna go ahead and back myself down into this corner, although there's a good chunk of hay down here. I should bring the baler down and make sure we pick this up. Every last ounce of hay is gonna come in handy this year, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and hijack the baler now so that I can pick that up. We'll finish this last stretch. I've got one row left behind me there, and then we'll move him over into the other field, and I can spray while the mower and the baler finish things up. I guess there's a little splotch of grass there that the mower missed we could be getting. I could be mowing some of this ditch grass too on the sides of the field. We might get real desperate and start mowing ditches. That would be entertaining. There's a whole grass area over there that we could definitely hit up if we needed to. I'm not sure how much yield we'd actually get off of that, but I could set up follow me with the baler here behind the swather and just start driving around, hitting any bit of grass I can drive over, I suppose. That might be the call here as we get desperate. I should probably be doing that now and then have a safety net, but we'll wait and see if I'm going to be able to get some more grass here in August by planting our cornfields. If we can't, that's when we'll start mowing ditch grass, I think. We're going to take the same trick we did with the mower to sneak out here onto the road. And I need to copy this course. And then we'll paste that in here and go ahead and get the baler started. Next, we got to pick up these bales, get those out of the way so that I can run the sprayer over this. Lots of little jobs jumping around. It's my favorite kind of gameplay is when I have a lot of things going on in the game. This farm has definitely kept me busy, that's for sure. I don't think I'm going to try going down that ditch entrance with the pickup in the trailer. This thing seems to be a little long. I'm pretty sure I'd bottom out somewhere and just have a bad time trying to get this truck and trailer out of there. So we're going to take the road entrance, and I'm just going to park this up here near the field because we are going to start having a bunch of bales to pick up there. I could have unloaded the ones I have so far, I suppose, but I don't expect that many more bales off this other section. I'd rather have a full trailer and dump them all neatly stacked somewhere than trying to dump partial stacks and deal with it later. So we'll park right up here and jump back down into the sprayer and see about hitting this field. Hopefully we're gonna get through this and have enough for the other field. That'd be my hope. I know I'm greedy, but I think it'll work. The size on this sprayer is quite large, actually. It's a nice, healthy tank. Yeah, we don't seem to be barely making a dent in the total capacity here. We're still at 14%. So by the time we're done with this, I'm positive we're going to have enough to do the other field as well, especially because coming back we're going to have half as many nozzles going here. I like it. There's something satisfying about using really large equipment in very small fields. When you can get a job done in a single pass, it just feels good. Getting it done, or a single round I should say. And there we go, all sprayed up. Let's see, this is not quite level, but if I fold up here, I think that my arms will come in relatively level. Good enough that I can get down the road, I hope. No problem. Folded up very nicely. Go ahead and drive this out here and check on the rest of our haying operation. Looking pretty good. We've got a handful of bales out, not enough to fill up the trailer. So I should probably just wait patiently until they get a little bit further along here, but I can't help myself. I want to get out here and move some bales around. We might actually head back up to the farm with a partial trailer while these workers do their thing, just so that I can start making some more TMR. As we keep moving the days forward, I need more and more feed, it feels like. So it's always easier when you can spend a little bit of time and get that done in batches in between the other jobs. So I'll pick up these last couple of bales. We'll go make some more feed. While we're waiting for the other hayfield to get finished, I tossed a couple bales in the mixer here to get us up to 20% hay, because the bar on the left-hand side over here is 20% fill level. Since hay is our most scarce resource, I'm doing 20% hay and 80% silage here. It seems to be working out pretty well for the feed mixer, and this auger is really slow and occasionally gets bumped out of the way here. So I need to fire this thing back up, or maybe it just needed to be on. Nope, it's just a little bit out of the way. As the bagger moves, you'll notice that the auger gets pushed just a little bit. You can see the whole situation is kind of shaking here ever so slightly, which is fine. I'm hoping we've got enough TMR in here to make up another load. It looks like we're gonna run out of the silage before we get the wagon full. I don't know. We do have one more silage bag though that we'll be able to work on, and as you can see, this auger is not exceptionally fast. Unload speed's pretty slow, so I'm gonna let this finish filling up. Looks like the swather finished its job, so let's bring this back up to the farm. Make sure we're not in the way for the baler. Baler should be going to town here still, although I don't see it. Oh, It's struggling up the hill. Good deal. Got all the equipment out here ready to go for future jobs. And I know I've said it, but just looking at all of this grass area here as we drive by, this could be at least a few bales. And if I plow that all together, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll turn this big back area into one giant grass field. I can plow up all of this grass area there, the strip between those two fields, and we could just get all of our hay from one giant field. Might make things easier too, just having to set the job off once. We're spending a lot of time jumping into these little side fields with the mower and the baler and just running equipment around all the time. I could come out here and use these for maybe, you know, our cash crops, some soybeans or something, and just jump in and out with the combine. Wouldn't even probably fill a combine up harvesting a small field like that, and move around with the harvesting equipment a little bit easier. I'm kind of wondering if that's what we should do instead of having all these little fields that we're trying to hit up as mowing fields. It's an interesting thought for sure. We're gonna go ahead and just toss the mower back in the shed here for the time being. I don't think we're gonna have any more grass fields for a couple days. And it looks like this thing fully drained. I've get my bag back for the silage bagger. That's so nice of them. We'll go ahead and toss that in there. I'm sure I won't forget where that goes. And then I'm gonna see if I can drive this auger up the hill here and get it hooked up to this other silage bag. Not the fastest way to move it around though. I don't know if I have another tractor or anything with a hitch on it right now that I can easily hook up to this. Oh well, it's just up the hill. We'll do it manually this time. So I get it all the way up here only to realize I still need a tractor to disconnect the bag loader. Oh goodness, and this bag is not nearly as full as the first one was, so that could also be a concern. We don't have nearly the silage left that I thought we did. We really need to get into August here and hopefully see some silage come our way as well. Well, I'm gonna bring this whole setup up here, and I guess we'll just disconnect the feed mixer, and I'll use this tractor to move the bag loader around. This feed mixer is actually quite heavy when full like this. The little 4440 struggling a bit coming up that hill. All right, bag, disconnect, forward, march. Good deal. All right, I don't know where I'm gonna put this bag loader thing yet though, so let's take it down the hill here. I'll park it kind of in this yard. This is where all our haying equipment is being stored usually. Probably the best place for it. We'll leave it right here for now. And let's just go ahead and get this hooked back up. We'll move the auger into place and finish filling it up. Hopefully everything's gonna work out for us here. I don't know how square onto this bag I need to be, but I don't expect very. There we go, I can see it bouncing along there. I think that means that we've got it hooked up. I'm gonna try and back up a bit here and pull under this auger. Something just about like so. Perfect. Oh, no, stop. We're getting way too much silage in there. Oh, I forgot I've been doing 3 bales, not 2, because I can't go above 75% with the silage. Oh no. Well, hopefully I've got enough capacity that I can toss another bale in here and recover this. Otherwise, I might have to, I think I can put it in the harvester and it'll unload the individual components back into the harvester. But we'll toss a grass bale in here and see what happens, or a hay bale. I did this one other time. I can't believe I forgot about it. All right, here we go. I think that we can recover ourselves here. Yep. Well, let's go ahead and unload this. It'll be processing that hay as we go, so I'm gonna end up with about the same mixture here. Should work out fine. And which barn needs feed the most? I want to say the new barn most likely, but let's double check our feed situation here. I'm calling this the new barn. 157. Yep, we're going over there. And it looks like the baler just finished as well, so we've got a whole nother batch of bales ready for us. I think we've more or less gotten our feed crisis mitigated for the immediate time. That cow just went for a ride, but we'll have to see how moving into August works for us. So let me get this unloaded. We'll go out and grab those bales, and then we'll move the clock forward. Well, we ended up with another 13 bales off of that field, which is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and drop those off, not by this barn, because we're feeding those cows TMR now, but in front of this barn over here, because these are the cows that we're still feeding hay to in barn A. And we're going to put them right on the other side here so I can manually load them in, since loading off of this trailer was not working super well last time. That should work out though. That way I've got those bales for feeding out the young cows in barn A. And we've already got a big batch of bales down here by where we were mixing the feed. So we'll continue to just leave those there. And I'm going to park this truck right here. I don't know where or what we're going to need it for next. Not a big deal. We're almost out of fuel in the 7810 here. So we're going to get all the equipment moved off of the field so I can do the spraying, get this refueled on the way back up in the yard, and we should be ready to move that clock forward finally. So as predicted, it looks like we're not going to have any problems covering this field with the remaining liquid fertilizer in the tank. I'm most of the way around the first pass here, first round, and I'm overlapping already our way up, so it is going to be just over one round. There's a little bit on the far end that we're going to have to clean up, but that's not a big deal at all. I'm excited, so we're going to start moving this clock forward while I wrap up the last little bits of spray at the end of this field, because we do have 2 full days that we need to move forward to get into August here. The crop stages won't change mid-month, as far as I recall. All the lighting and stuff flashing as the clouds move across the sky at a 500x speed. Sometimes I actually do stop and just use the sleeping command to move to the next day, but oftentimes I find myself needing to move equipment around, get things put away, cleaned up, animals fed, and I just find it easier to run the clock than to stop and sleep and be kind of locked into that sleeping screen while the sleep happens. Not our best arm folding action here, but we're gonna live with it until we get up in the yard, at least where we're on a flatter surface, because I do have to unfold it all the way and fold it back up in order to get these to fold up on a level surface. It's the same old story with this sprayer. We're coming up on midnight here. I'm curious to see what our paying down on the loans and such are doing for us. I think our equipment leases, are still astronomical, almost $8,000. We need to work on that for sure. Put us just over 10K in the hole. Let's see what happens when we get to 6 a.m. here. Oh, that's so much better folded. We'll get this thing put in the shed real quick, and we'll be ready to watch the time tick over. That was a really tight turn. I can't believe I didn't run into the wall. And there we go, $40,000, a little bit more than $40,000, almost $42,000 from having 2 of these cow barns full of cows. If we look here, we get to 100% feed on both of these, or 100% health, I should say. And we're burning through the TMR for better or worse. Our hay's keeping up on the cows that we've got in here that aren't producing milk yet, but at $40,000 a night, or $30,000 profit per day, we're gonna be catching up on these loans pretty quick, it feels like. So with that in mind, I think we're gonna go ahead and just toss these bales in here. Oops, we try and move more than one at a time, things kind of go out of whack, but we'll shove them in there. I'm going to push at least the first 6 of these, and then we're going to be a little bit more hesitant with the last 6, just in case we figure out that we need them. because I'd rather worry about feeding the cows TMR that are making us lots of money than keeping the cows that aren't making us any money well fed, especially since it doesn't seem to be stabilizing their health in any way. And before I move the clock forward too much more, I am going to make one more load of TMR for that other barn. We've probably got the feed in there to handle it, so I am going to keep the clock moving while we do this, I suppose, and just see how much of the silage out of this silage bag is going to go, or how far it's going to go, I should say, how much TMR it's going to make. I'm very curious to see what happens. Man, I'm so nervous. If August doesn't bring the corn ready to chop, we're gonna be desperate. This auger is so slow that I can't even get the feed mixer filled up before the next day ticks by. This is life, and it's raining, so that's awesome. Another $10,000 of leasing and interest costs, and another $40,000 of milk sold right as we get our feed mixer topped off as well. Very nice. And as we can see, feed's going pretty well here. We're not too desperate yet. The hay situation's great on those. I'm glad we held off on topping them up too much. I am going to put this in the far bin there just to balance out our feed. I think this will get us through August for sure. Let's keep moving that clock. So we've moved into August officially here. I got another $40,000 worth of money, and just watching how the lease pricing and stuff works, I think we do need to start paying down on some of that leased equipment soon. I'm gonna put this back in the bank just in case I forget, but I could pay down a lot of our leased equipment with $400 and some thousand here. We've got a lot of equipment in here in the leased category, and those daily lease charges aren't actually helping us reduce the price of the equipment. It's only the hours that we've put onto the equipment that I think is reducing that lease cost. So just as an example, oops, do not return that. If I wanted to purchase this, it's under 100K now to purchase this tractor. The big one, this is 137. Like, we could really start dropping how much we're paying per day. And the lease percentage seems to be a bit higher than the loan percentage, but maybe that's just because we have way more than $3 million worth of equipment that we've leased out. I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. It doesn't feel like we've got that much leased. I am filling up the mixer here for what I'm sure is about to be the last time. Looking at that silage bag, there's not a whole lot left in there. I think we'll get the rest of that into the mixer. But the big question, the thing that's been stressing us out is, are our crops ready? They are not. We're looking for these cornfields here to be this dark green color to maximize our silage yield, and they are not. So we're going to have to make it at least one more month before those are ready. Looking at the calendar here, corn, yeah, one more month in September. These are going to be ready for silage. Oh my goodness. Well, the good news is, if we look at our animals here, I'm positive that these two barns are going to last until we get into August. 4 days, we should be able to last more than that. So I think we're in good enough spot to get to that corn silage. But man, are we gonna be tight through the winter. We're so tight. This field's technically ready to harvest on the grass side, but it needs one more tick before it's fully grown here. So I'm gonna get a bunch more hay shortly off of this field. I'm gonna get one more cut off of the other field. I'm still not feeling great about our hay situation. I'm hopeful that our corn silage situation, though, is going to be awesome, because we're going to get so much silage off of those two fields if we chop it all. Either way, I'm going to put this mostly mixed batch of feed that we've got into this barn, balance the two of the barns out. We should be good to go. I can go as far as I can without having to touch it. and it'll last us into September when we start getting more silage. We'll get another cut of grass in September as well. So September's going to be a busy month here on the farm. This has been a little bit of an odd episode in that I'm mostly just stressing out about feed. I'd say it's even a crisis at this point, and we'll figure it out. I always love hearing suggestions in the comments of what we should do next or where we should take things. I guess this is a good problem to have, that our farm is expanded and we're making so much money every day now. I mean, $40,000 a day is really going to give us some options, I hope. But we're into August. We need more grass to get through the winter, I'm sure. So let me know what you think we should do about this problem in the next episode. That's all for today. Kedrick out. Never happened.